Welcome back. We know you have been waiting all week to watch them, but I'm here, your Lord and Savior. I'll peace be with you, extra peace with you. But we are about to talk about Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 4, called...
The Last of the Starks.
Yes, because that makes a lot of sense.
Let's introduce ourselves.
Okay, introduce yourself, Jeff. Took it away from him.
Rob.
Yes, Danielle. Now that you're all caught up, we're going to dive right in. Now, I'm wondering if this episode is more of a palate cleanser, or is it kind of like brushing your teeth and then drinking orange juice real quick? Because what I know it seems like I'm a cynical douche, but when we were watching it together, and I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes, I was like, uh-oh. She was telling me to shut up like 9 times. But what did you guys think? I want to start with Jeff.
I'm not a big fan.
Wow.
This episode kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. I don't like Daenerys anymore. You know when you're like a little kid and someone tells you a secret and then you can't tell anybody, but then like your best friend comes by and you're just sitting there like... Well, that was that whole scene when Sansa was standing next to Tyrion.
What was that meme of that kid with the vein in his forehead like...
That was me.
Oh, you were the meme.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's get the elephant in the room out of the way. This show and episode is clearly suffering from their own creation at this point. Basically, we know it's 6 episodes long, and they keep giving us more time for the episode, but it seems like they don't know what to do with this new time. Literally, the episode starts with kind of like a funeral, right? And, they're burning the people, they're giving them respect. And Danielle already immediately questioned this, but I'm going to throw it back out there. Feel free to crucify me. When the Night King died, he exploded into 1,000,000 ice cubes, right, with his White Walking generals. Did all the whites explode into ice cubes?
No.
Yeah.
Yes? No?
They just dropped down to the ground.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't.
They didn't explode.
They all fell to the ground because I remember commenting to myself about all of the random corpses all over Winterfell now.
Okay, because I was thinking when Ed died, and I saw him at the funeral, I'm like, wait, shouldn't he be ice cubes right now? But I think I missed that one.
Who's Ed?
Ed was
Exactly.
he was the new Lord Commander after Jon Snow stepped down.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Whatever.
This episode was just so slow. I get right after a big battle, like we had a sandwich. We had everyone has sex before the battle, then the battle, and then everyone has sex again.
Just more sex.
Just more sex.
Yeah.
Just a sex sandwich. We start off with a funeral. Okay, I get it. And then everyone starts celebrating. But I'm not even kidding. That had to be somewhere between 15 to 25 minutes of sex and celebration.
Yeah, I feel like the first third of the episode was just, I didn't care at all what was happening. The scene between Brienne and Jaime, hated it. The scene between Arya and Gendry, so weird. Just like, oh yeah, thanks for proposing. Anyway, and he's just standing there, and they just cut to the next scene. It was just really it just seemed off.
With the whole celebration and party, I get that I'm watching it and I know exposition's happening, but I literally felt like I was invited to their party. Like I'm sitting down and I was sitting there watching it and I felt bored like I normally would at a party. I'm just like, can we go home soon?
You're trying to figure out how to leave without Tormund getting mad at you.
Yeah. But we got a couple of cool scenes out of that, right? We had Daenerys looking at Jon Snow, and everyone's treating Jon Snow like the king. Even Torbjorn says yeah, he's just like a king because he rode a dragon.
Well, you said he was like the cool kid sitting on top of the lunch table.
Yeah, he's like, so guys, you want to see me throw a football pretty far? And everyone's like, yeah, Jon.
You could see how much Jon hated all that attention, though.
Like was killing him on the inside. Well, he was drunk.
He was drunk, but he was also kind of just like, yeah, all right, great, stop. You're pissing off my girl over there.
Yeah. Well, she looked at him with the worst woman face I've ever seen.
Well, yeah.
I thought I was going to get obliterated right there, but okay.
No, yeah, but she definitely had some major jealousy face going on. And then even when she was scanning the room, she's like, all of my enemies. That was, and then and then you had Varys. Oh my God, Varys was like blurry in the background, and they just like focus in on him, and he's just like.
But we kind of have to just say it real quickly. The most important scene.
I don't know what the most important scene was.
The most important scene when she's looking at Jon Snow with envy in her eyes.
Where everything goes weird and she starts looking like she wants to kill everybody in that room.
Yeah, but you know, the hidden Easter egg.
I didn't see anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
The
candle.
No, not the candle.
The chalice?
No, not the chalice. It was Brienne and Jaime having sex.
Right.
Yeah,
That
right.
felt
Yeah.
so uncomfortable.
I was okay with that.
No, my God, no. Tell him.
No, I mean, it was just forced. It was just like, come on, man. Like, I don't really. It would have been more meaningful, I feel like, if their relationship was still kind of like undefined.
The one thing that made me a little bit uncomfortable in that scene was the fact that I felt like Jaime was just doing that because he felt bad for her.
Yeah, it kind of felt.
There was a little bit of, I'm drunk, so I guess I can deal with this.
But all these character interactions, Arya with Gendry, I must call him like Michelin Man, I don't know. But Arya and Gendry, Tormund, you have the Hound and Sansa. It's all this like unneeded characterization because they know that like this is the last time you're going to see these characters because we don't remember what to do with them. So say goodbye to Sansa. We're not going to see her or Brienne again. So let's see her get cornholed and then that's it. Which, come on, total cop out. I've seen probably like 40 wieners in this show. Couple of pairs of boobs.
Yeah.
I don't get to see Jaime's wiener. I don't get to see Brienne's boobos. What's going on? Are they just afraid of their bodies? I don't get to see them. Come on, HBO.
I was reading through some of the comments on our first video. Well, not our first video, but the one that exploded on episode 3.
The first video anyone cared about.
Yeah, the first video that anybody watched. And somebody had said that Game of Thrones was starting to feel like Friends in the way that it was
Friends of Thrones.
kind of written and stuff. And I was
Sign
just like,
Thrones.
And, you know, I liked the last episode, so I was kind of like, oh, shut up. You're just being annoying in the comments. And then I saw this episode.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh. I was waiting for the credits to roll and the happy music to be playing, and you see all the different characters paired off with their pairings. And
Well, I don't want to totally poop on this episode because I don't want people to think we're just a channel that poops on things.
Well, allow me then, because
Oh.
I enjoyed the second half of the episode.
Well, let's
like,
get
very
there.
much.
Let's all get there together.
Okay.
As friends. So, first, now we're going to get instantly demonetized. So, the
we're
first.
not monetized to begin with. What are you talking
Don't
about?
tell them that. Okay. The first part of the episode, you just needed better editors. It could have easily started this funeral for a couple of moments, goes to the celebration where people are drinking and giving to Jon. Daenerys angrily sees Jon, edit out the Starbucks cup, and then go right into the scene where it looks like Daenerys and Jon, you know, they're kissing and everything, and then have that exact same scene play out where that was kind of powerful, where it shows Daenerys is still in love with Jon. Targaryens don't care really about incest. Jon Snow does. He couldn't really do it. But she made it so impactful to him, telling him, like, how can we get past this? I just wanted to go back to how it was. And he said that she's the queen.
Yeah.
And she tells him, even afterwards, like, well, what can we do? She literally says, I already told you what we can do, and then goons out of there.
Yeah. But I mean, the look on her face when she's, like, pleading with Jon is, I mean, like, she looks crazed.
Let's get through. Okay, that was the beginning of the episode.
Wait, there's one more thing I want to touch on.
Okay.
Before we leave Winterfell. When Jon says goodbye to Sam, I was so surprised that Sam didn't have anything else to say to Jon. We saw him in episode 2 seem pretty adamant and concerned about Jon's claim to the throne, and Sam doesn't bring it up at all, and Jon just leaves.
Also, Sam's like, you know, I saw you watch me almost die, right? I saw you walk away as I was crying in a pile of corpses. And so, goodbye.
Yeah.
Good job having sex with that girl. Oh, and of course we have to bring this up. Listen, Game of Thrones, I'm on to you. Enough with the dragon CGI. Everyone wanted to see you pet the damn dog. He's a good boy. Pet the damn dog. I get the almost symbolism that you want to say, well, Jon Snow begrudgingly looks at his wolf, and the wolf is Jon. So it's like Jon's looking at a reflection of himself, and he leaves him behind in Winterfell. So a piece of Jon's always in Winterfell, but then he has to leave because that's his destiny. Don't do that. Just pet the goddamn dog.
I don't really care about Ghost at all.
Let's get to some of the other mild things that annoy me, but then I want to get to kind of what excited me and gave me some hope. Some of the things that started to bother me. One, where do they get these ships from? Isn't Winterfell like landlocked? And also, they are terrible with the depiction of the passing of time. Has it been 4 days, 40 years since the battle? 200 minutes? What's going on?
We get like one of those Majora's Mask clock tower cutaways that would just be like 24 hours later or something like that.
Oh, dude, I just don't know what's going on with time. So Jaime leaves, and I can't believe I haven't had a rage stroke bringing this up yet, or even thinking about it. When Jaime leaves, he's talking to Brienne, right? And she's like, "You're a good man, Charlie Brown." And she doesn't want him to leave. And he's like, "You think I'm a good man?" And he starts telling him he pushed the crippled boy out. Well, he pushed the boy and made him cripple. Pushing crippled
And then
boy.
he pushed him again.
Then he pushed him again. So he made Bran cripple. I forgot what other stuff he said, but he kept saying bad things that he's done, and he just said it all for Cersei, right? And she's like crying, like, whoa, the ugly cry, super ugly cry. And obviously, he did it to almost like a "don't follow me" type of situation. Right? He still mildly loves Cersei, has feelings for Bran.
I don't think he loves Cersei. I think he's going to
Let's get there.
end it.
Oh, but let's get there. So that is the exact same moment, scene by scene, to Harry and the Hendersons.
I don't know what that is.
Perfect. Well, here it is right now.
Get out of here! Can't you see we don't want you anymore? Why can't you go back where you came from?
So other than that, they're on these ships. Where do they get these ships from? Are they Yara's ships? Did they go to the Iron Islands now? What's happening? Where are these ships coming from?
They just built some real quick.
And then what? They pushed it to the water?
The soldiers carried it unsullied.
But, okay, so then smash cut to ships on water, and Daenerys is in the sky with her 2 dragons against Sansa's better wishes. So she's flying there, and I'm going to give them, like this is math. They're going to get the right answer, but I'm only going to give them partial credit because they messed it up. Daenerys is flying with her dragons, and everyone's like, woo, that dragon's okay. Like, he's flying a little wonky, but our boy's healed up. This is going to be great. And then, right in the heart. And you're like, oh, my God. And then in the side, and then right through the neck. That was brutal to see.
Yeah, I was like genuinely shocked when that happened.
When the dragon died when we weren't expecting it, now it shows that Daenerys is super vulnerable. She has 1 dragon left. And her without her dragon, she might as well be like a yelling toddler, you know? Mm-hmm. But also, I don't believe that she didn't see the ships. She's in the sky. Have you ever been in the sky before?
I mean, the ships could have been over the horizon.
She is literally up there. She would be seen for close to 200 miles.
I mean, they're pirates. They're good on the water. Stealthy.
So they're blessed by the
They
Flying
use
Dutchman.
their pirate green screen.
So, what she should have seen it. I want to keep nitpicking, but that was a cool scene. Losing the dragon like that shows how vulnerable they are. That's
Well, and then their stormtrooper aim kicks in.
well, okay. So we're trying to get more into the weeds here. Of course, they shoot the 1 dragon that Daenerys isn't on, and only 3 bolts hit a dragon, right? From so far away. And then the other people are like, guys, it wasn't our turn to shoot yet. We don't have enough AP points. And then they're like, okay, it's our turn. Then like 400 bolts shoot at Daenerys. And she's like, oh, dodge. And they couldn't hit her, so she flew away. Whatever.
If that was me, I would have got a bolt straight through the skull. I would have been like, oh, they're shooting at me. Just done.
There's a lot more I want to say, but I know that this series is coming to an end, and it just is what it is. If I keep doing this, I'm just not going to enjoy anything, and I don't want everyone to not enjoy it with us. So we're just going to call the scene what it is. I'm going to say, pretty cool. We lose a dragon. It shows that Daenerys is vulnerable. Their ships get completely wiped out. It was cool to see.
But what ruined the scene for me, I thought the scene overall was cool, but the point where Daenerys charged straight in at the ships with her dragon was terrible. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you trying to kill another dragon? Like during the big battle, when she had all the White Walkers crawling all over the dragon, like she's just irresponsible with those dragons at this point.
Yeah, it's supposed to be her kids.
It was her.
Terrible
It was
mother.
completely her fault that dragon got taken out.
Yeah. Well, you brought up a good point yesterday about that kind of ship battle, right? When we were watching it together, like we're like, this is gonna be so cool, and then what happened?
Oh, and then like Tyrion falls into the water and you're like, cut
No,
to
he
black.
jumps, but yeah, they-
whatever. And like you're like, oh, is Tyrion gonna get smushed? And then it just cuts to black, and they're like, oh, they're on the shore now.
Yeah.
That's lazy. Are you kidding? I wouldn't expect that from this show. That was.
Oh, you wouldn't? The editing, not that someone's editing skills were bad, it's just that you're giving us scenes that we don't need and taking away scenes that we want.
And then even when they're on the shore and Grey Worm starts like yelling for Missandei,
Yeah.
like that just seems out of character too.
Well,
It's
his
just,
whole
we
arc
could
is
have
out
gotten
of
it.
character.
We didn't need that scene. We could have just cut to Cersei and then we see that they have Missandei. We didn't need that other scene.
Basically, where are we now? Is they lost their fleet, they're down in Dragon. I guess they fly back to Winterfell? Or what's going on now? I think I'm lost.
No, so now you have Daenerys and her like 12 soldiers
Okay.
standing in front of King's Landing.
And do they take an Uber there? How do they get there?
I think they were right off of the coast of King's Landing when they originally crashed.
It really looked like,
I thought they were going to Dragonstone.
it literally looked like they were in Dragonstone, that beach.
I don't know.
Because I think that's where they were kind of heading. I don't know. That's what I mean. Like, bad conveyance in this episode. You had random passing of time, characters showing up in random places. You just don't know what's going on sometimes. And it's because there's like, just keep going. Just no one's noticing. Just throw more coal in the engine.
I'm also really confused, and maybe somebody in the comments can explain this to me, but
Oh, can I tell you how they're going to explain it to you? You piece of human garbage. The next time I see the two skin pieces holding your teeth
Rob?
together. Huh?
I appreciate any comment I get.
Good.
Say whatever you guys want about me. But we do get a lot of constructive comments. So if you could explain to me why they even took ships to King's Landing to begin with, because every time that they marched between Winterfell and King's Landing, it was a march. They
Yeah.
walked, right?
Yep.
So why did they take ships?
So even before we get to King's Landing, we kind of had a cool scene between Varys and Tyrion, where Varys is always kind of looking out for the realm, or so he says. It almost seems like he hides behind a cloak and dagger style, while Tyrion is grappling with, Daenerys is super crazy, and I'm definitely afraid of her.
Yeah.
But I don't really want her to die. He has that like brotherly, sisterly love for her, but also somewhat respect and fear.
Well, I feel like it's almost like that sunk cost fallacy at play, where he's spent so much time with her, and he believes to a certain extent that she's destined to take the throne, and at this point, he's kind of fighting against any opinion that says otherwise, because he's just pretty much devoted a big chunk of his life to helping her quest for the throne. And I think Sansa, seeing that in him and questioning him in that moment, asking or telling him that he's afraid of her.
Do you think that Varys was also warning Tyrion? Because he says everyone right now has a choice to make, in reference to Daenerys, not burning down the capital city and killing all the people that he wants to protect. But he was almost talking to both Tyrion and her, like, look, it's done. I've already sent out the hit to kill her.
Yeah.
Don't be near her. Like, distance yourself from her right now. Otherwise, I'm going to take you down as well, too. So, boom, we're in King's Landing now, and we have... I don't even know how they get there, but they have the dragon. Okay. One more complaint. I'm sorry, everyone.
Physically regrouping to explain this.
Cersei's one worry is that Dany has dragons, right? They were where they had 3 dragons.
Not anymore, because now she's like, oh, I got 40 scorpions. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah. Here comes my epic complaint. The dragon is standing on the ground next to her 12 other apostles with her, right?
Is it there?
It's literally like where you are in relation to like where I am as Daenerys, give or take a couple of yards. And you have 40 of the scorpion launching crossbows, like almost like ballistas.
Yeah, I think it was out of range. It
No! They shot down a dragon in midair from the rocks. This thing was 40 feet from them. Why wouldn't she just be like, shoot the dragon really quick while they're talking about all their stuff? And then Daenerys would be like, well, I guess checkmate. I lose. You literally just killed the last dragon I have, and I have nothing left. And I brought 14 people with me to storm the castle.
She could have. I think the dragon was out of range of the crossbow, but she could have rained hell on that whole squad. She could have just been like, all right, everybody, just fire your bows, kill Daenerys, kill like the 5 Unsullied that were there, and like the 2 guys with 1 arm that were just like, yeah, we're protecting the queen.
But, all right, so you have the hand of the queen come out. I don't remember his name, the Sith Lord looking guy. He walks out, and he's talking to Tyrion, and they both kind of have, it's like dark humor in a way, like, so you're obviously surrendering, right? And the other one's like, no, you're obviously surrendering, right? Well, I have a dragon. Yeah, but we have like 40 ballistas, so it's kind of like the scales were even. And what was cool was Tyrion was basically like, I'm not getting through to this dude. He's just a mouthpiece. Mm-hmm. So he walks past her, and I know everyone's obsessed with the art of war, but in an engagement like that where it's a standoff, it's almost like an armistice, Tyrion crossed the lines of battle, signifying that, like, you know, battle on, like, kill me first. And Cersei, obviously, like, oh my God, I finally get to kill this piece of garbage I've always wanted to kill. She calls it down and threatens that, you know, Missandei is going to die. You could see it coming, especially because the mountains decided to change up his palette. He's got a new palette swap now. He used to be gold. Now he's all silver. So you're like, oh, man, he's going to do something because you're paying attention to his different colors. The only thing is, for Missandei, I always pictured her as, you know, a strong woman. Jeff's about as close to me as Cersei was, right? They were about, I don't know, 75 feet up there. Mountains was probably about 10 feet behind.
You want her to dive tackle Cersei off the cliff.
Why not? By the time anyone reacts, you're both dead. And even in that moment, you might die, but maybe try to land on Cersei. You never know. Maybe you'll end up like Bran. You'll get a cool wheelchair and a distant stare. One of the good parts about this episode is we finally got to see kind of like that Game of Thrones style death call back to the first season with Ned Stark getting executed. Missandei. And poor Grey Worm, man, he's like, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
He was completely powerless just watching it happen. And that look on Daenerys' face.
Oh, I know.
Someone talk about Bronn before I lose it.
Oh my God. He was, I mean, not one of my favorite, but he was a great character. That scene just sucked. Like, normally he serves as some sort of like comic relief. That wasn't even really comic relief. Like, he was just way too, just like slimy in that moment. We've seen him save Jaime before. He wouldn't kill Jaime.
I'm going to be the Rob of this scene right
Do
now.
it.
How did he get there? How did he just walk into Winterfell? Past everything and get there?
Well, there's no more Night King.
Okay. The Night King parted the Red Sea to get into Winterfell.
Yeah.
Bronn just walks through Winterfell, and they're like, oh, hey, crossbow guy.
Well, here's what happened. They got confused. So, I understand where you're coming from. So after 8 seasons, people have been saying Bran. So they forgot his name was Bronn, and they just called him Bran. And he's like, oh, I'm Bran. And they're like, oh, I forgot you could walk again. And he's like, yeah, after the Night King died, I could walk. Now, I'm gonna download everyone real quick. Here is how you should stupidly create the new show. You can't do it because 1 is already done, and 2, some of my plot's already taken away. But Theon is dead, right? Arya, I don't want Danielle to strangle me right now, so I'm gonna let her speak for a second. Then I'm gonna take it over. Arya has superpowers, right? Well,
Like, she's not carrying, I think I said this, like, she's not carrying around a bag of faces.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. She's not carrying around a bag of faces, right? There's some magic to it that we don't know.
Right.
That being said, that goes into some of my plan. So Theon dead. Instead of burning Theon, she should take his face and become Theon. Get herself captured by Euron, who's insane and clearly wants to do some weird things with his nephew and niece, right? He captured Ara, whatever her name is, Yaris. She captured Grimjow.
Muppet Girl.
She captured, the
Muppet
Muppet Girl. She captured Muppet. So, if Theon was still alive, she can get herself captured, knowing that Euron's gonna want to do like a one-off thing where no other guards are around, and she clearly can kill the Night King by doing a cool flippy move. So obviously, even if she's tied up, she'll just like open up her eyes and like shoot lasers out and kill him. So then she would kill Euron, put his face on, and then go next to Cersei and be like, yeah, I'm definitely Euron and stuff. What's that over there? And then just slit her throat. We literally see Tyrion and Daenerys on the battlefield about to fight. So he's going to be like...
What do you mean? When? They have to wait 2 weeks for Jon and...
so they're just standing there waiting 2 weeks?
They're just going to hang hard in Dragonstone for 2 weeks.
They're not in Dragonstone. They're in King's Landing. Missandei just got decapitated.
I know, but they're going to go back to Dragonstone. Obviously,
so
they're not gonna
Cersei's
hang
just
out in
like,
King's Landing.
wow, I just killed her. I have a really busy schedule. Come back in 2 weeks. Let your dragon rest up. Get more of your army to defeat me. And I'll lose the only advantage I have right now.
Yeah, God.
She's going to let them go?
And if she is going to do that, because she clearly is, we're waiting for the rest of the army to get there. We're not going to fight with
Cersei's power right now is the people around her. All those innocent people that she's feeding propaganda to, that's her defense. She's not going to compromise that. She's not going to leave the Red Keep.
She's going to want the
She's in
people
the
to be
perfect
like,
position.
look, I'm defending the Red Keep.
Right.
I'm not the aggressor right now.
She's using these innocent people to insulate her.
Time out. Let's look what the scenes what we have. Yes, they showed that scene, but the scene afterwards was Missandei getting decapitated, right?
Yeah. But the thing is, and then the following scene, wait, was there a scene after that?
Basically not.
Yeah.
We saw Daenerys Grey Worm turn around, Tyrion's like, oh, and Daenerys is like, ah, and then it kind of rolled credits. They're at the gates, and Cersei is what Cersei is. Why is she going to let them leave? They're outnumbered.
No, but see, Cersei's smart. She's doing all of this. She obviously purposefully decapitated Missandei because she wants Daenerys to make a mistake. She wants her to react emotionally.
What's the mistake? The dragon is already there, and you have armed ballistas aimed at it. Fire.
But we know, like, Cersei, kind of like the Night King, is very confident.
Look. Once again, if you don't want your characters to die in that moment, don't put them in the scenes where it looks like they're about to die. You're the one making the show.
Cersei is going to let the dragon burn some of her people and then say, oh, shoot down that dragon. Look how cool I am. And let the ballistas kill the dragon so all the people are like, yay, you saved me. It's smart. It's stupid, but it's also smart.
So
that's just narcissistic.
Well, once again, talking about the weakness of this episode and season 8 and wherever it's going, is in the coming attractions for the next one, you see Euron at sea again. Like, oh, what's that? And here's what I'm thinking. So who knows when it happened? Like I said, they're really bad with the portrayal of time. At one point, obviously they've never really clarified if the genders of the dragons or if they are genderless. But dragons mate when they fly together, allegedly. I don't know. So that being said, even though she's down to one dragon right now, the dragons aren't raised in captivity. So what you said 2 episodes ago about them going back to the waterfall, maybe the dragons had a child and they raise it in that waterfall and they keep bringing it over there. Daenerys doesn't know about it which would be terrible, by the way. Not that this is going to be a good theory, that there's a secret dragon because, Euron's looking up like a surprised look in his face. Like he's seen a dragon, he's killed a dragon. Why is he being like, oh, it almost seems like there could be like a couple other like adolescent dragons that have been made. It's kind of like when,
and again, like we don't know what the timeline is. So
yeah, it could have been like 100 years, because oh man, we just figured it out when Jon Snow was talking to Daenerys when they did the whole flight to the waterfall. They literally said, we could stay here for 1,000 years and no one would know. It's been 1,000 years. It's been 1,000 years.
That's how much time has gone by?
It's been 1,000 years, confirmed. Right before they killed the Night King, the episode before where everyone's blowing each other, Daenerys and Jon fly on their amazing dragons to that waterfall, right? And Daenerys is like, let's just stay here. We can be here for 1,000 years and no one would know. And Jon Snow's like, well, we would look really old or some contrived nonsense. Confirmed. They've been there for 1,000 years. Yeah, that's all we got. Anyone want to add anything? Speculate what's going to happen, or you just want to just depressingly close this one out?
Depressingly close this one out.
We got two for depression.
I give it like a depression out of 10.
Thanks everyone for watching this one. Might have been a little bit of a longer episode. Thank you again for watching and comment. We're going to go through a lot of our comments this time. Want to get your feedback, especially for this episode, some of your theories. We're going to try to feature one of their comments in the next video as well, too. We got some stuff planned. Quasimodo that bell. I don't know. More YouTube stuff. Whatever. Everyone wants to see me do this. Let's go!